Hello and welcome to the second episode of the series My Epiphytes. The first part was about epiphyllum in my collection, and today I will focus on Lepidophyllum and Phaerophylla. So let's start with Lepidophyllum cruciform. So there are a few different variants, and I have here three of variations, and because they are all lumped together under one name of Lepidophyllum cruciform, I put in brackets the other names. So when it comes to Lepidophyllum cruciform, to me they all look always a bit scruffy. I don't know whether your impression is the same. Let me know in the comment. They grow quite fast and they like flowering. Usually their flowers are of pink color, but there's also one with white flowers. And here you can see how at sun stress it can take this nice reddish color. And they root quite quickly. So this is a year ago or 2 years ago, I got just one stem of this Lepidophyllum, and it has grown since then a few new stems. And this one is Lepidophyllum cruciform, that used to be known as well as Anceps. And you can see here clearly the difference between the standard kind of usual form that you can buy. So the stems are flat and the flowers are white. I have to admit that from all Lepidophyllum cruciforms in my collection, this one is my favorite. It looks not so scruffy, it looks more elegant. And all my epiphytes, apart from epiphyllums, are indoors over winter, and this one still is producing some buds, and 2 buds have recently opened as well. So the other Lepidophyllum in my collection, which I recently got, this one came under the name of Lepidophyllum cruciform Roggio. I'm not sure whether it's a proper name or it used to be. However, you can clearly see the difference because its stems are quite thick, quite robust, and because they are so thick and stiff, they are more prone to breakage, to some damage. Nevertheless, it's quite interesting plant. So here you can see how thick the stems are, and also in comparison again to just a standard kind of form. It flowers in pink as well. Moving on to the next Lepidophyllum cruciform. So this is Spiralis. It's a small rooted cutting, so you can't see this twist yet. So I'm hoping once it matures, then this characteristic spiral pattern will be more prominent. Fingers crossed. The next one is in my collection is Lepidophyllum floribundum. It's related to Lepidophyllum cruciform, but the flowers are bigger, and also this plant can flower almost non-stop all year round. It's not, at least in the UK, it's not so commonly seen, which is a pity because it's a really nice plant. Another one in my collection is Lepidophyllum hulitianum from Regnelii. So first I had one rooted cutting, and it's been flowering for me for a few years now. I will show you flowers a bit later. And recently I've bought another rooted small cuttings, and I put them all together in one pot. So it's got quite characteristic stems. As you can see, they are nicely serrated, and the flowers are of bell shape, white, and of this form Regnelli, the inside of the flower is white as well. There's another form of Lepidopsis hulitianum, which I will show you later on. It hasn't flowered for me yet, but I've seen the photos, and again the flowers are white, but the throat or the inside of the flower is kind of orange. So I'm hoping that the other form will flower for me next year, so then I'll be able to compare them. So this is the other one, Lepidopsis hulitianum from Hulitiana. At least this is what I got it under its name. Nice big specimen. Another Lepidopsis in my collection is this Lepidopsis lumbricoides. I'm not sure if I pronounce all those names correctly, by the way. That's why you can see the subtitles there of the names. I wouldn't say at first glance that I would classify as a Lepismium. To me it looks more like a Rhipsalis. Very interesting plant. Again, quite rare to buy. Another one is Lepidopsis Warmingianum. First I got this cutting, and then I bought more of eBay. Because I think when you can see them more bushier they look much nicer. Now let's move on to Fiera boliviana, and you probably can recognize this plant as Lepismium bolivianum. So quite a few Lepismiums were moved by botanists after the genetic test into a class of or into genus of Pfeiffer. And you can see here that at the base some of the stems started to get quite woody, and I think this is how the plant reacts when it doesn't have enough water. What in my experience, what I've noticed is that all Lepismium and Pfeiffera, they like more frequent watering in comparison like to Rhipsalis, for instance. And this plant flowered for me this year and 2 years ago, and last year it didn't. So I hope it's not some kind of pattern of flowering, and next year it will flower again, because it's got really pretty flowers. The next one in my collection is Pfeiffer miyagawa, and again it's a newly purchased, so within a few months I got it. For the moment it's not spiky, it's quite nice to touch, but I will see once the plant matures. So you see. And another one is Pfeiffer monacantha, subspecies Kimnachi. So this one is naked, so what I mean, there are no spines. And again, small plant, but at least if the plants are small, you can see more how they grow and the difference when you first got them to now. And this one you may recognize, it's Pfeiffer monacantha, subspecies monacantha, sometimes called as Lepismium rhipsalis. And you can see even berries there. And those kind of changes on the stems, at first I thought that it could be some fungal infection, so I sprayed it with antifungal solution. But then I've read or heard somewhere that this could be due to reaction to too much sun. And when I started to think about it, indeed last year it was outside in summer, where it got morning sunshine, and in the afternoon it was in shade. Whereas this summer I put it under the tree, so it was in a semi-shade all day in a deep light, and it produced new stems, which obviously are healthy without any of those of this damage or changes. So there must be something in it. And I also got a smaller version of this plant, which you've just seen, smaller plant. So the flowers are really pretty, of orange color, quite big. But this plant, when it flowers, is just a magnet for mealybugs. At least my plant is. And also this one has got those tiny white spines, so be careful when handling it, because it can be quite prickly. Another one is Phaephra paranagensis. So this is the first plant that I've got. So when I first bought it, it had just one stem, so it has grown nicely. And again, recently I purchased a bit bigger plant, and it's in a separate pot. Really interesting looking again. So let's move on to the next one, which is my favorite one, and it's Phaephra assutepantensis. I've been looking for this plant for a really long time, and finally I got it. It's got long, very elegant stems. Look at the shape of it, really pretty. And some amaryllis have got those woolly bits. And it loves being outside in summer. So mine has produced tons and tons of buds and flowers, and new growth as well. And this is the plant that I've written a short article for online part of British Cacti and Succulent Society. It featured as the plant of the month. And just quickly, I wanted to mention how I care about my Lepismium pfefferum. So the substrate, the potting mix, is bark, perlite and pumice, a bit of soil, some grit, and horticultural sand. I mentioned watering, that it I think requires more watering than usually Rhipsalis or Epiphyllum. I feed with half dose of tomato feed, and outside in summer in a vapored light, and I overwinter it, all my epiphytes apart from epiphyllums indoors. And to propagate, you can just take a cutting, wait for the end to callus over and stick in soil, and from time to time you can spray a bit of this potting mix. Don't water until it produced roots, so it's easy. So the third part will be about Rhipsalis, so stay tuned. And if you liked my video, give me a thumb up, comment below, let me know what Lepismium and Phaephra you've got in your collection. I know that I'm still looking for Lepismium lawrenceanum and Phaephra ianthotheres, so I'm hoping that I will get them at some point. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. And these are the berries of Lepismium assutepantensis. Bye!